Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Kiba here. Thank you guys for watching my videos. Please remember to like, subscribe, and even share this video. Today we're going to be doing our June book wrap up. It's 6 months into the year, guys. Half of the year has gone. Yes, I'm thanking God that I'm here. And without further ado, let's get into the books that I've read for June. June was such an intense month of reading. The books were heavy with emotions, and I'm like, yeah, they were good books, but heavy. So our first book is Finding My Way Out of Love, Out of Darkness by Briyanna Mitchell. This young lady, I see her on TikTok promoting her book, and I decided that I'm going to try it. Definitely, this is something else to read. This young lady, after her mom died, after her mom died, everything just started going down the hill, and she ended up in a sex trafficking ring where she's forced to do these things, sell her body. But there's this guy from her past, Brian, that is a part of the FBI agent squad that is about to actually mash up all of that Dalios. And he went in, start making contact and doing his thing where she does not remember him, and he decided that it's going to take his time for her to remember him, and pour love into her. This man was carrying her out, and she ghosted him after the first date, and not even date, he brought her out. And after that, he was like, let me send her daily affirmations to fill her up, to breathe life into her, because she has been so down and not believing in God, because she feel like God hasn't done anything for her, because he took her mom and letting her living this kind of life. And I mean, this man, when the story says it's a story of unconditional love, it's definitely unconditional love. When that man finally get around to her and they began their relationship, this man was praying for her, as I said, breathing life into her, as much as he is healing her little by little as she makes her journey. And I have to love this story, how it goes on, and the fun fact that he introduced the family again to her, and she started getting her little memories and remembering that she was always a part of this family. Yes, he loves her, the family loves her, the dynamic, the whole thing. He ended up catching the guy. There's so many twists and turns in this story. It's just crazy, and I loved it. Really loved it. Big up yourself, Miss Mitchell. Love the story. There's a book 2 to read. Definitely going to read it. Then move on to Exhale. Fun fact here, Exhale is a part 2 of 2-part series, book series, and I did not know. I ended up reading book 2, and I have to say, Miss K, Yvette, you did an awesome job, because I thought this was a standalone until I finished reading the book. But there's history before, and I realized that I have to love Exhale because it's such a beautiful book. Heavy but beautiful, intense. The love story between Logan and Naomi is such a beautiful one, but yet so very harsh, and the reality of what they are. He's a golf star, she's tennis, and they have the weight of the media on them to be perfect. He's a drug addict, she's not, and she has a low tolerance for that because she has to deal with that within her family, and she just wants to be so far from it, but she loves this man, so she's not going to give up on him. Seeing the backstory between them, how they deal with things outside of the media, and how she has trying to pour into this man, and she's like, oh, I cannot help you, you have to want to help yourself. There's so many times he said he has been there with her to, he did it for her the first time to go to rehab. No, he's like, when she's like, no, this is not going to happen, you have to do it for yourself. When he decided that he's going to wanting to be better for himself, you get definitely see that the passion, the love. There's so many things happening in this story. You have her ex-boyfriend Jermaine, which is a pastor, and he's dealing with so many things. He tried to kill himself. And I love how Kay dealt with this. You know, as Christians, sometimes when you're in a place of authority, you tend to be burdened down by everything that needs to be done. You need to be perfect, you need to be shown in this light, and you need to be seen in this perfect form. But remember, we are all humans, and I love how she actually showed the background of this man was crying out for help and nobody was there because he was a pastor. He needs to pray himself out of it. They didn't think that he needed help. He should supposed to help himself because help comes from the Lord. There were so many things happening. She has to, Naomi dealing with him, and then dealing with her new boyfriend, dealing with family drama, dealing with her phone family problems. You know, she has to strike a balance between all of that, but still dealing with the weight of the world on her shoulder. I love that she had a happy ending. She ended up finding Logan, and Logan stayed off drugs. Thank God. They had a beautiful ending, and we just have to be happy about that. So we move on to Justify a Hall Pass by Denise Essex. Denise. Love this story. It's a friend to lover book. So Brie and Walter work together at this media company, and bear in mind, as I told anybody, office drama is my thing. Walt is not, he doesn't believe in the institution of marriage, while Brie is into it. She's married, she believes in it, she's from a Christian background also, and she's trying everything to get her husband to have sexy time with her, and this man doesn't want anything to do with her. And she's making, telling her friend that, okay, this is what's happening. Turn Walt here and saying that you should ask for a hall pass because he's not satisfying your needs. She's like, no, that's cheating, and I don't believe in cheating, all of that. It turned out that she said, let me try again. I'm going to try again to entice my husband to have some sexy time. Unfortunately, that went down the hill. More feelings hurt than actually anything else. She's like really considering this thing because she's like, oh, on this undecisive path that they said, okay, I don't want to do this, still cheating no matter what. Turn out that something happened and she ended up have to go home. Went home, saw this man having self-pleasure time with somebody on the screen, and the lady was saying ex-wife. Now bear in mind, this young man doesn't work. He barely takes care of the child that they have. She's doing everything. Frustration, she nearly shoot him. And I don't know about these mothers in these books. They tend to actually not encourage their daughters to be, they're always trying to tear down their child in the midst of all of these. It's so crazy. Instead of the mother siding with her daughter to say, all right, this man is not doing what he needs to do. Brie's father is a pastor, and he's like, oh, that's what your job is to satisfy your husband. You're supposed to stay by your husband's side. And I'm like, he's cheating. Don't you think so? I don't need to be in any relationship with anybody that's cheating with you. And it proceeded. Okay, after the cheating, they move on with her life, and she said, okay, I'm going to take up this hall pass. No, Walter, aka Mr. Walt, was like, okay, you're going to do this thing, we're going to vet everybody that's going to come into your space. And he's like, when Brie picks up herself and put herself together and saying, okay, we're going to go on this business trip and we're going to try out the hall pass down there. No, man is seeing this young lady in a different light, and bear in mind they've been friends for years, and he has never seen her in this light. And he's like saying to himself, like, no, something is wrong with me. Why am I seeing my friend like this? Am I really attracted to her? Yes, you are attracted to her. It turned out that when they went down to Florida and having these trip, and she's talking to somebody, jealousy just click, and he's like, no, I can't let these men get to me. I have to stop this. I'm going to be brave for Walt right now and get down to this. He suggested that he's supposed to be her hall pass. No, they actually moved beyond that friendship and went into everything. They had their sexy time, a world of time. I mean, like, Brie puts it down so good that the man can't even do his work. I mean, like, come on. There was a third act breakup. Didn't like that. The book was a little bit slow, so you have to bear in mind that you have to take your time with it. And I'm like, why did you break up? Well, it turned out there's a twist to it at the end right there. Brie end up with Walt. They live happily ever after, which is something awesome for me. I accidentally summoned a demon boyfriend by Jessica Cage was the next book on the list that I've read. I mean, Briyanna Mente's story was amazing. Love how the author actually put it together. And this is the whole story. Briyanna is having terrible dating life, and she said, okay, I'm going to go on a break. I'm going to have a girls' night out instead of going on a date. Her friends stood her up. She decided that she's going home and drink, and she's going to take up one of the books that she just read, a romance book that she just read the other day with a summoning spell in there. She ended up summoning a demon. In her drunkard stage, she felt like she had fallen asleep and having a dream where she's having a time of her life with this demon. Turned out nothing of such sort. This is actually real. Real. And Mentis and Rainan's story move on to how they actually find out so much more about each other. There was a crazy ex-girlfriend, Mentis' ex-girlfriend or ex-fiance. She's of the mindset that if she can't have Mentis, nobody else can. I mean, I think it's so much craziness. Raina is not what you think she is. I love the story, how it took its time to actually build up to showing that she's more than just a human, and showing how the love story between Raina and Mentis form. As I tell everybody, soulmate tropes are really beautifully done. I love how this one is done. He's like, oh, I don't want to fall in love with this girl, but at the same time I can't help myself because this is my person. And I love how the story ends. They end up rescuing each other from various things. There were so many lovely parts to it, and I really love it. They move on with their life. They're traveling into the universe. Yeah, can we move on to Bride by Ali Hazelwood? I read this book. I have a full video of it where I do a review. It was okay, nothing too crazy. Not going to find me just throwing on all Ali Hazelwood book on my TBR list and bumping them up. It's just one of those things. Not my favorite, but it was okay. And this is actually a werewolf and vampire book, soulmate trope kind of thing. Yeah, that's how it is. It's not my favorite, but I'm not going to bash it because it's what it is. So we move on to Merc by B-Love. Let me tell you this. I read B-Love book this year, tried out this new author, and let me tell you, Assignment was a beautiful love story. It's a second chance, romance. I love it. But when you read Merc, and you said you read a second book from this author. The lady did pretty good. Merc is a baby father, a good one, and he's really good in doing well with co-parenting with his baby mother, along with the fact that Neo is with a baby father. Her boyfriend has a daughter with somebody else, and he blew off her Valentine's Day dinner plans to go and hang out with his daughter and the daughter mother, and she's at the bar where she met Merc. Bear in mind, this is a stranger. They start hanging out, they have vibe, and you know, he's like, let your man pay for it. Call him and let him pay for it. And if he's not going to pay for it, break up with him. Unfortunately, the man didn't pay for it, but she's not going to live for a man because a stranger tell her to. No, right? No. Turn out that Merc end up bringing one of his charge, or the person that he's supposed to be protecting at this record store, that end up being Neo's record store. And you know, things happen. Gunman come in there, shoot up the whole place, turn, and you know, Neo had to go into protective services. She called it bootleg protective services. This is the thing that comes to mind. She's calling her boyfriend, her man, can't get him, and the whole time she's like, okay, going into protective service, finally get to him, explain everything, while her parents are out of their mind and worrying about her. This man don't call, don't text after that. Turn out this is just an avenue for Merc to learn who she is. Merc is a musician himself. She's in love with music also. She can play, and they actually start connecting, and they start getting to know each other on a more personal level. And I love how the B-Love actually does this thing. You just pull you into their love story, and you're just like, I'm rooting for you. Now Merc and his baby mother has been at it because Merc told this lady to bring back the ring that her fiance, her boyfriend, proposed to her. The man said, bring it back. And I was like, when I read it, I was like, bring it back. You don't use it for bring it back. The Merc was so funny. But either way, he's like, nope. Whatever the situation he's trying to not fall in love with Neo. Neo's not trying to fall in love with Merc, but they can't help themselves. But he's having a situation, but Neo is in a relationship. Turn out she's there, and I'm like wondering where the boyfriend is all this time. No call, no text. She turned out that she's scrolling on the phone, and then end up going home. See the two of them, the baby mother and her boyfriend, will cozy on a chair. Let me tell you, Neo be beating the crap out of them. This is the thing. Then it turned out gunmen come, stick up Neo. Merc is there, have to come in, save the day. And it turned out, yeah, that's not the how the book ends. Turn out that this man this boyfriend, Neo boyfriend, is a dirty, conniving, manipulative ass. That was like, oh, look the other way, or I'm going to take the music shop from her. She said, alright, go on with the music shop. You know what the man do? He went in there and mash up the lady place. No, mash up all of her inventory. There is nothing that she can think about. She has to start back from ground zero. She's moving in back with her parents, and she's like, okay, what am I going to do here with myself? I hate men with children. No, I tell you, America have a son, have a baby mother. Turn out that when they trap in the house, she snow in, and she went and knock on the door. It turns out that it's Merc, some winter home, and they get into it. Love how B-Love actually made this story, and they get into it. And she's like, oh, I'm not interested in going any further with you with this. We can be friends. Merc is not interested in being friends. What friendship can do for Merc right now? He needs his woman in his life. Come on. The thing is how Merc goes, and he's like, okay, I'm going to actually show you that you can trust me. I'm not with my girl. I'm not with my baby mother. I am for you and only you and my son. There's so many. I love how the storyline just keep on pushing, how he went out doing everything, and I love how the baby mother was like, we're not together, trying to reassure Neil about this their relationship, and I love it, love it, love it, love it. Merc and Neil deserve each other, and they're happily ever after, just like Asylum and Though. I mean, come on, yeah. Then I went on to reading The Protector. The Protector is a update on Asylum and Though, and also Merc and Neil is telling, you know, the story after Asylum. You know, they're moving on to having their baby, and I love how you get an update. Neil is actually dealing with postpartum, you know, depression, and how my boy deal with it. Merc, and he goes into it. I love how he actually say, you know what, I'm going to do everything that I need to do to protect my woman because she deserves it, and he's there for her all the way. Now we went on to Strongest Whiskey by Beloved. This is the 4th book in the Protector series. So you have Asylum, you have Merc, then the Protectors, then you have the Strongest Whiskey, and there's another book. I hope Beloved actually writes it, but yeah. Strongest Whiskey, this is with between Beethoven and Whiskey, as I said. The book implied the Strongest Whiskey, they are forced into a marriage, arranged marriage. Whiskey father just died, and he's a part of the organization, and her brother decided that he's going to have dinner with the person that's supplying them their goods, and Whiskey is catch off guard about the proposition that she has to marry to the son in order for the supplies still flow to the family, so the organization that they're in can actually keep up. And she's like, okay, what is this? Beethoven, no, is trying to appease his father, and you can't go against him, but at the same time he's like, okay, I'm going to run with this. Whiskey is such a beautiful girl, he's going to get to know her, he falls in love with her, you know, the whole 9 yards. He's very protective, and he's going to stay protective of his woman, end up getting married to her. There's so many twists and turns to this book, and I love how the author actually, you know, we have 3 books or 2 other books, and none of them are like, and this one is like, okay, I'm going to choose. It's always, I'm going to choose my girl, but how am I going to choose my girl? I'm going to protect my woman because that's what's necessary. And I love how Beethoven actually, he was trying to get out, going legit, and trying to be that person, and his father did not want that. So, you know, when you have to make a decision that it is either, he chose his woman, and end of story for his dad, you know. Love the story, as I said. Love that story. It's so crazy to think that you have a child and you don't want anything, you just want him to stay one place under your thumb, and that's so crazy though. But I'm looking forward for book 4 with the other friend. He's already in a relationship with Neo's friend, and we're looking forward to that book. So I went out to reading the Merciless ones and the Eternal ones. This is book part 2 and 3 of the Gilded series or the Deathless series. Let me tell you this. I read the Gilded ones last year, and you know, sometime last year, loved the book. Getting into book 2 was a little bit hard, but I pushed on. I started and stopped, and I was like, okay, let me get through to this one, because you need to, when you start getting into the book and remembering everything, because I told myself that I was never going to read book 1 just to read book 2 again, because this book isn't going to read then. So I went in, start getting into it, there's so many twists and turns. There's so many things happening with Deca. She's being lied to by her mothers, the gilded ones. You know, she's not supposed to be questioning anybody. When she finally start questioning things, she's being penalized, she's being put out, and you're seeing in this light, and you know, the whole thing. Now she's getting to know who she is and what is her purpose here in her realm. And you know, when you start getting answers, it's not the answers that you really want. The truth is coming to light, and you're seeing who you are. And I get the understanding the whole entire time for book 2 and 3. It goes to say, if you don't know who you are, people can just use you and deal with you any kind of way and just discard you. Because here Deca has a greater purpose in life, and because she didn't know what her greater purpose in life is, and wanting family and thinking that she's loved, she is being used. And when she finally finds out who she is, there's so many things to go down. She finds out that she's not Nuru. She's not the Nuru, because the Nuru is a pawn. She's an Angaro, and the Angaro is the god killer. You find out there's more gods out there, and it's not just only the male counterpart for the gilded ones. There's so many things happening. The eternal ones come down to it. You find out there's other gods in a different realm, and the world that she thinks that she's living in is so much bigger. No, she has her purpose and she needs to fulfill it, but she has reservations because she has to leave her friends to do this job. And it turned out, you know, you just have to do what you have to do. When she finally does it, she is creating a new world and setting the order back into place. That's the best part about life. And then we finished reading our 10 books. So we did 10 awesome books. As much as it's very heavy and very intense, I love all of them, every single one of them. And trying out new authors is always my favorite thing to do. If you have any new authors that you want me to try out, leave them in the comments. Tell me what you think about the books that I've read or the books that you have read in June. So until next time, guys, bye.